the question, and until he felt comfortable, he just kept going, and that was, I think, the most successful thing, really. Okay, we lost couple people. Probably they may still join us.
Meet is also here.
Yeah. How, Gautam? Do you have any question for us?
Hello.
Hi, do you have any question for us?
Uh, Hi Amit. How are you? It's actually first time I'm talking to you because first I was like studying in TIU and I never got a chance to like meet you in person and stuff. Yeah, of course I do have some questions and I'm really like looking forward to buy a property one day for sure. And I think if you will like start from me, I will have couple of questions. But for now, I just want to know, is it really nice to like get property right now? Because I'm in work permit, I work, and then I just don't know like when is the right time. I'm working on my down payment side because for sure you need some savings, and then that's what's going on right now. So you can just like tell me from where to start from, like in general, and then how can we meet again together so that I can, just like the other guy you were talking about, I can be successful one day.
Yeah, no. Um,
Yeah.
really, the real magician is Jenna in this.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to just arrange and answer all your questions. And
All
what
right.
it is, it's all in the planning. It's all in the planning. And before Smee joined back us again and you joined us again, I was telling Aiden the real successful reason behind Smeet Gusani's success, in my opinion, he just asked question endlessly. He just
Okay.
asked question until to a point that he felt, yes, I'm ready to move on and take the next decision. If I'm not comfortable, I'm not gonna make that decision. And once he has all the answers, he said, okay, well, now this is the decision. My job, for your job, for me, is to get me a place where I don't have to pay as much rent and I don't have to worry about for next 3, 4, 5 years. Right. And it's still all in our preparations, really. So number one, I'm glad you're asking question and you are on the right track, because if you're not here, you don't know how it's gonna happen. Right.
True.
The
Makes
first
sense.
step is to be here and engaging and talking, and now because we have done it, right, we have a
Yes.
proof to run upon, right? and
Yes. Yes.
and we have a very thankful audience in terms of his meet to help us along, right? He said,
Yeah,
okay, i
bro.
will i will go with your idea and I will try this and see how it works out. And I'm pretty sure it was hard for him, because talking to his family back home, talking to me, working his, and he never gave up. We got him at 10:30 at night. One day we were talking to him, Jenna and I were trying to answer. One day we were talking to him 11 o'clock at night, and one day he phoned me like 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, sleep now, man. Come on, it's not that stressful.
I still
So,
question that are randomly.
and the fact of the matter, in my opinion, again, is he just kept asking the question and moving forward. He didn't ask the question and sit here, okay, I'm not going to do anything, right? He
Oh,
asked
of
the
course. Yes.
question and he moved forward with that information. And then Jenna needed this document, that document. No, I don't like this writing. I do. So he just kept rolling, and following the plan. That so Jenna has this plan where she's fitting this information, and as soon as you find the property, she plugs that plan in, and the property in the plan, and boom, if it's yours, it's yours, right? So real
Yeah.
magician is Jana, and I think we should have her presentation. She's been patiently waiting. I will talk forever otherwise.
I must prepared a little bit of a presentation just to kind of go over a few of the details of the New to Canada program for mortgage, as far as just mortgages go, and what we're looking for specifically, and what the lenders are looking for, as well as the insurers. So stop me if you have any questions at all. But our New to Canada program is specifically designed to help new residents to Canada realize their dream of home ownership. So this can be permanent and non-permanent residents, like work permits, things like that, who have relocated to Canada in the last 5 years and have a limited Canadian credit history. One of the key points here is that you actually only need a 5% down payment. We had the question earlier, if you would just put 5% down, is that going to affect your interest rate? And it's not going to affect your interest rate at all. You're with a 5% down payment, you're actually going to get the best interest rates that are out there today on the market. Something else to note on this one is that you can also use alternative sources of credit to prove your credit worthiness if you haven't built up enough Canadian credit that's reporting on a Canadian credit bureau. So this new to Canada program is for purchases only. So it would be purchasing homes, condos, townhouses, anything like that that are going to be owner occupied. Again, you can go up to 95% loan to value. So that would leave you with a 5% down payment, or we can do a conventional mortgage, which is where you have a 20% or more down payment. All your down payments must be verified. So they have to be verified. If it's in your bank account, then we need a 90-day history. If you have any large deposits or transfers or anything like that into your bank account, we're going to need a paper trail of where those came from as well, and to show proof of that. There can be no gifted or borrowed down payment when you have just a 5% down payment, and you can't borrow the funds for that down payment. The property must be owner occupied. You can buy a house though with a basement suite. That would be a 2-unit house is what they would classify that, but you must live in one of those units. I should note here too, if you are buying a house with a basement suite, we can use that basement suite income to help qualify you as well for a mortgage. Okay, so some of the qualifications that we're looking for is that you must have permanent residency or landed immigrant status or a valid work permit. So those are kind of the 3 things that we're looking for, and we'll need proof of that with documentation. You must have relocated to Canada within the last 5 years. Some of the questions we've had about that is what if you've been here for 3 years studying and now you've worked for 3 years? It's kind of a case-by-case basis with that. If you've been studying and now you've been working for 2 to 3 years and you've been here a little bit longer than 5 years, it's just a case-to-case basis, but it's definitely not out of the question. And then the lenders are also looking for a minimum of 3 months full-time employment in Canada. I did touch on they're wanting to see a letter of employment from your employer stating your minimum or guaranteed number of hours per week or salary. And that needs to be proven with your pay stubs. So your pay stubs must match that letter of employment. And then they also do a verbal verification with your employer. Okay, so some of the things, if you're doing a 5 to just under 10% down payment, we're looking for a Canadian or international credit report. Or we can do a rental payment history confirmed via a letter from your landlord and supported by 12 months bank statements, just showing that you did make those rental payments on time, in full. Or we can look at using at least 1 utility payment. So for example, here in BC, BC Hydro, Fortis, maybe you have a cell phone, we can do that showing proof of credit from a letter from your service provider or a 12-month bill statement confirming your regular payments and that everything's made on time. So that's a really crucial piece, is that all your payments must be timely. They must be paid on time. We can also see on the credit report when we pull it if you have major payments on time as well. So that's a super important piece. If you're doing a loan to value with a 10% or more down payment, we can look at using a letter of reference from your borrower's financial institution from the country of origin that you're from. That's a little bit trickier to get sometimes with a minimum of 6 months satisfactory banking relationship. So sometimes that's a little bit trickier to get, especially in the market today when we're on kind of a time crunch. So planning for this ahead of time is really important. Doing a pre-approval, making sure that we have everything in place prior to shopping is a really important piece as well. We can also look at using 6 months verifiable bank statements from a recognized Canadian financial institution, but all letters must be in English. And we can also use bank statements from your country of origin, but again, those need to be in English or French. So sometimes that's also a little bit tricky as well. Just making sure that we have everything up front though is really important. I'm going to skip over this because I think we've kind of wanted to just focus more on the 5% down payment. piece. So that's really all I have for my spiel. It's very short. But does anybody have any questions at all?
No, it's great. I mean, the thing is, um, I mean, if you remember, Jenna, we were talking about it earlier. A lot of this will become a common knowledge as we keep talking, right? It will percolate from you to me to Arjun to Smeet to other people, right? And so, sorry, with these webinars being recorded and available, I believe people are able to view, and there is a smaller viewership, and because it's a new program, right? So it will take a while to reach one at a time. And I mean, what time is it? I believe it's already 7:45. Um, what do you think? Do we have any other questions, Arjun?
Now, let's say if anybody is interested, how do they reach out to you?
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah, the most important question.
Yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to point out that I have on you can get it on your iPhone or an app. It's called My Mortgage Toolbox. It's a great place to start to kind of see based on your income what you could qualify for, give you an idea of what's out there on the market. So that's available on the App Store or Google Play to download, and you can kind of just play around with it and see. But I have my colleague on here as well. But you can contact me. This is my phone number. It's my cell, so you can give me a call. My email is jennamortgagebroker@gmail.com, or my website is jennamortgagebroker.com. So you can reach out. We can look at doing a pre-approval, see what we can get you qualified for based on your current income, liabilities. We take a look at everything with a pre-approval to make sure that we either put a plan in place or you know confidently what you can go out and shop for and the price range that you can afford.
the key is the price range you can afford. That's exactly is the secret for Smeet, because he immediately realized what he can afford and what he wants to do, right? So he's young, he wants to build his equity, work harder. He's working overtime right now. I know he was telling me. So those things are, I mean, it's an opportunity, right? It's in the making, and that's what I want to say. Okay, so also the one important part that to be recognized here is Smith is it still has about 2 months, right? April we have gave them notice, so May and June. So you will get it on Canada Day.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a nice present, my friend.
That's another lucky thing that's happened, eh?
Yeah, well, there you go. So you're gonna get it. You're
For
gonna
that
give.
Gotham,
So
for
that's
that
gonna be a.
Gotham, what Gotham was talking about, like how he's here right now in this seminar with us, right? I was the same thing, I think 3-4 months ago when Amit and Jenna were having the seminar initially. So same, I was just kind of just coming, just having a look and just listening to random things and thinking like you, like, yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, that's interesting. And then,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
now,
one day for sure. Maybe one day after like 4 or 5 months. But yeah, you never know. And yes,
exactly.
pretty.
So what you're doing now, I was doing that time, bro.
Yes,
But
that's how it goes.
yeah. But I would suggest you get your application started with Jenna, because that does not hurt you in any capacity. Most importantly, when we want to go from one point to the other point, we gotta build a bridge, right? And I mean, the bridge is like, if you have that information, she can help you identify what you need to do in order to bridge the gap. You may be doing something over and unnecessary. So you may say, okay, I want to buy an apartment. Now you're looking, I want to save $50,000. But do you need $50,000 to buy an apartment? You may only need $30,000, right? And you
Makes
will
sense.
think, okay, I'm gonna get my credit score better to 700 plus, right? What if she doesn't need your 700 plus, right? She needs your employment letter, which is clear and solid, and you pay the taxes. And timing is everything, right? So it
Yes,
is,
makes sense.
Yeah, and unless you have to take the next step. That's the thing. If you want to be successful, you got to take the next step. The next step, for if you have not started, start your application with Jana. Get your most important information, your personal information, your credit information, your all those things are there. Nobody's forcing you to say no, you're just gonna go and that's it. It's not gonna happen. It didn't happen to you, Smeet, right?
No, you gotta kind of take the next step forward.
Yeah. And you didn't have to bribe me too much like back home. That was another good part.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, the bill is coming after. Don't worry.
I do want to touch. I want to touch on that point that my services are completely free. If we do business, I'm paid by the lender at no cost to you. So if you want to do a pre-approval, there's no cost. Lots of people think if you work with a mortgage broker, there's a cost. There's no cost to you at all.
Oh, all right, all right.
Yep.
I'll be soon
Yeah.
contacting you then for sure, because
Yeah,
I
sounds
for
good.
sure need all kinds of information, right? Because nowadays we generally talk about this topic so much, and you know how inflation, COVID, and for sure. So yes, Jenna, thank you, Jenna and Amit. I appreciate you guys a lot.
Yeah,
And
no
I believe
problem.
Aiden has a question as well.
Please.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna ask if it costs to do a pre-approval. Jenna just said that.
No. Yeah,
No.
no, there's no cost to do a pre-approval at all. Everything that we do together is at no cost to you. And there's no hidden fees, there's no charges or anything like that. That'll come up. There's nothing.
So I
Yeah.
downloaded the app and I chose you. Like, should I play with it first or contact you? Like, what's the process? If you want to see if you want to get a pre-approval, you know, or some, like, what your situation is.
Yeah, so if you want to do a pre-approval and you're ready to make that next step, then definitely reach out. If you want to take a look at, I always say, if you want to just take a look at numbers and kind of see if you're comfortable making that next step, then definitely check out my app. But yeah, if you're ready to do a pre-approval, see where you sit, see what it looks like for you, and then definitely reach out.
Well, if I were you, Aiden, I would talk to her. It's so much nicer to speak to a woman than to an app.
Right. Well, I need to talk to my parents first. That's the first thing, you know.
Right? So I always take the higher road on these things.
What I've
So-
seen here is that both Amit and Jenna are very accessible. You know, it doesn't matter if you text them on WhatsApp or you email them or you try to reach out to them, you send them a text or call. They're really, really interested in sitting down with you and making sure you understand what you're, where you are right now, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
So these two have a lot of knowledge. They have the information available for free on how you can bridge the gap from where you are now and where you want to get, where you want to be there. So, talk to them. It's free. Talk to them, set up an appointment, and figure out how you want to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, Arjun pays my bill, so it's all free. Don't worry about it. So another important thing I want to especially bring it to your attention in this sense is Jana, is because when you're new in this game, your mortgage is only $200,000. There is not a lot of commission to be made either for her or me, right? I get it from seller, she gets from the lender, but a lot of the mortgage brokers, they tend to I would say, how can I say, they're not running with you, in the sense like, I need to run, I'm not, but the priority wise, the treatment that either a $8 million client is receiving versus a $200,000 client receiving, right, is phenomenal. I think it's the credit also due to Jana for keeping it on, because for many other brokers that might just fall to the wayside and just saying, what, yeah, I don't have time for this, that's just a smaller file. But at that same time, it's important, it's a trend setting, and it's very encouraging as a newcomer when you come to this country, and you can tell your family back home that now I have a job, that's a stable job that can give me a stable house and an ability to live in a house, break up my home. All of a sudden they said, oh, now he found a home, he's gonna found a woman, he's gonna found this, or he's gonna moving on with this. And so it's very important how you grow as an individual in a new place. That's my newcomer experience on this one, because I mean, as a newcomer, for me, that's was so important, because now I have my job that feeds me my daily basis, like, physically and mentally, and also a place where I can call it a home and relax and so on and so forth, right? So
The
it's
three
also
things:
very
roof,
important for me.
food, shelter, something is there, right? Those three things: roof, food, shelter, something.
Yeah,
The basic three you need to have. That means you're set.
yeah. And it's so important in life to feel that way. Personally, if you're in a new country, after traveling 13 countries myself, I realized that how important is to feel like you have a home base, because and that's what it gives us. I mean, the sheer pleasure when Smeet was saying, "Is it for real?" Well, yeah, 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 right. So it's like, oh wow, okay, that's fantastic. So okay, it's almost 8 o'clock.
All right, everybody.
You
So
can.
we're at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna stop the presenting recording right now, and I guess this will be in YouTube, so you can always refer back to this if you need any information. You can also find 2 other previous seminars that we did on YouTube in Goel Solutions. YouTube link I'll send out to everybody if you're interested. Look